Okay, today I'm going to show you how to replace shock oil in your Traxxas Revo or any RC vehicle. First thing you need to do is undo the shocks from the top and bottom side of the mount. There's the first. And there's the second. Remove the shock from the vehicle. Put that down there. Get the vehicle out of the way. Now, first thing I like to do, as soon as I've got it out, is check the shock for any wear or damage. Seems fine. Unwind the tensioner so that you can get the spring off. Once that's done, pull the collar down and lift the collar off. You may need to use something for a bit of leverage, just like that. Pop that out of the way, move the spring, that to the side, check your seals for any leakage or excessive wear. They seem fine. Now, first thing you want to do is unscrew the cap of the shock, like that. Now, get yourself some tissue and empty the contents of the shock out. Pump it up and down a few times to get any excess out. Once you've done that, put that to the side, that's done with. Get some more and get as much of the residue out as possible. You can use some form of cleaner for this, just make sure it's something that won't eat away at the seals. Like that. Pump it up and down a few times, make sure you get all of it. Like that. Golden. Right. Now comes the point where you want to put your new oil in. The question is, what oil do you want to use? Personally, in my truck, I like to use 50 weight. Thicker oil gives you more dampening and softer landing off big jumps. Thinner oil, less dampening, bit more springy on the ride. But personally, I do a lot of jumping, so I like quite a heavy weight oil. First thing you want to do is take the cap off the bottle, get your shock, and you want to fill it about halfway full, like that. Reason for this being, when you lift the shock up to bleed the air out from underneath the bladder, the air bubbles don't have to rise quite as far up. It makes bleeding the shock a lot quicker. Once you've bled it, then you top it up the rest of the way. This can often take a while, especially with thicker oils. That will do for today for display purposes. Continue topping your oil up right to the lip, like that. Once you've finished topping that up, you want to get your bladder and your cap, hold it carefully and screw it back on, making sure not to cross thread it in the process. Oops. You know you've got the shock properly filled when you can see some oil seeping out of the overflow, just like that. Make sure it's nice and tight. Wipe it clean. Don't want to get up your truck on oily. Make sure there's no dirt on the shock shaft. Make sure the base is nicely tight on. Get your spring. In my case I've got covers on mine, so make sure your ends are properly in place. Put your spring back on your shock. Of course, normally when you do this, if you go up in damping rate, thicker oil, you're going to want normally a heftier spring, down a lighter spring, and so on. But I've just replaced this with same oil, so same spring. Get your cap, put it on the edge, push down on the spring, and just clip it into place like that. Make sure everything operates correctly, and you can either retension your shock while it's off the vehicle, or you can do it when it's back on. Normally I find it easier to do it while it's on the vehicle, because it makes it easier getting the shock in and out with less tension on it. So basically we're done getting it oil off your hands and off the shock. Now put that out the way, that out the way. I'm going to go back here, over here, and reach for your truck or car or whatever vehicle it is you're doing this on. You want to, in this case anyway, do the top mount first, because that's the awkward one. Like so. Put bolt back in. That's that one done. Right, now for the lower one, that in place like that, and pop your screw in. Push the suspension down so you can get it into an easier place to get your driver on. There it is. tighten it back up. And there you go. Shock's reinstalled. Now, all you need to do is just go in and readjust the preload tensioner to the correct preload of all your other shocks, or individual, or however you like to set it. Just like that, and that's correct. Check everything works properly. Perfect. There we go. Job done. Shock oil changed. I hope you've liked this video. It happens to be my first. If there's anything you'd like to see a tutorial of, or how to do it, let me know. I'm happy to do it. Any running videos, anything, hit me up. Peace. Catch you later. Remember, like and subscribe.